本日はお忙しい中、
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending WASHOKU-DO, the World Japanese Cuisine Show press conference. I have the pleasure of serving as the moderator. My name is Kaori Tasaki. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to call upon Mr. Masato Otsubo, Director, Food Industry Affairs Bureau, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, for some opening remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for gathering despite the cold weather. On behalf of the hosting organization MAF, I would like to offer a little greeting and explaining the program. I think it was on the 14th of October last year, the UNESCO inscribed the Washoku as the intangible cultural heritage. So this is 1 year interval, and with the lapse of 1 year, there is a growing interest in Washoku. As far as our ministry is concerned, we would like to communicate and transmit the information about Washoku. At the same time, we would like to make Japanese food ingredients be used by a lot of people world over. So that is the situation against which our ministry this time decided to launch a program called WASHOKU-DO from January last year, so that we can nurture human resources. We will be transmitting Washoku to the next generation and to the whole world. We need a place where people can learn, experience, and savor Washoku. So we want people to get in touch with Washoku. That is only possible in this place, and we would like to make this place a place for nurturing the human resources excelling in Washoku. So foreign visitors would be the subject of this Washoku-Do. But not only that, we would like to invite Japanese people, because they will get in touch with the new aspect of Washoku. So this is going to be the first year of Washoku-Do. So we are collaborating with the French cuisine, which is inscribed just as Washoku as intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO. And also French cuisine has a strategy of broadening its domain into the whole world. We will have the collaboration. So this time we have asked Mr. Yoshihiro Murata, who is the master chef of Ryote Kikunoi, as the general producer of Washoku-Do, and also we have asked Mr. Alain Ducasse as the ambassador representing the French culinary world. So foreign chefs would compete the skill of Washoku. That is the Washoku World Challenge. That is one program, and another is a symposium where people can learn the ideas and tradition of Washoku, and we will have street events where ordinary people can savor Washoku and food ingredients. We will be inviting culinary people as well as food culture related people and ordinary citizens. So I will be focusing from this point onward the Washoku World Challenge. This was held last year as a single-year event. This year, this is going to be the second event. We will have foreign chefs, and they will compete their passion for Washoku as well as their skills and understanding of Washoku. Just like last year, we had more than 100 applications. Regarding 110 applications, the planning committee has conducted the screening by paper, and at present we have focused the application down to 20. And looking toward the mid-December, we will be deciding on the 10 or so finalists. Finalists will participate in the final match on the 30th of January. They will do their own cooking, and they will compete about their skills. Now, we have 27 countries and regions from which applications came: Korea, China, Singapore, Asian countries, US, Mexico, Brazil, Americas, France, Italy, and Spain, Europe. These are the countries from which we received applications, as well as others. So the master master chefs and cultural eminent people and the knowledgeable experts will get together and hold a symposium. We will have the keynote speeches, we will have breakout sessions, we will have workshops, and we will have a consultation corner or business talk corner. A keynote session will start with a dialogue between Mr. Murata and Mr. Dukas, as well as a demonstration. Thereby, we would like to present the new possibility of washoku, including the skills and ideas of Japanese ingredients, which would be common between washoku and French. Also, the terroir and respecting the nature and the health would be regarded as themes for the workout sessions, breakout sessions, or workshops. Details, please refer to the papers distributed to you today. As the base of washoku, we will select the stacked up meal boxes as the traditional cooking method. So, I'd like to talk about why we call this event WASHOKU-DO. In Japan, Budo, Sado, when you reach the apex of anything and train the skills and spirit, we call it a road, a way, or do. So I thought that the washoku would follow suit, and we would like to see the achievement of the apex of washoku. We want people to polish their skills so that they want to get in touch of the heart of anything Japanese. I hope that this program will be the trigger for broadening the reach of washoku to the whole world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Otsubo. Now we would like to call upon the manager, Mr. Teruhiko Tanaka, manager of the Tourism Division at Kyoto Prefectural Government. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am from the Kyoto Prefectural Government. We are working together with Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries to co-host this event. At Kyoto Prefectural Government, we have responded to requests to register Washoku on the intangible cultural heritage and by UNESCO. We have responded to requests from Chef Yoshihiro Murata, the then chair of the Japanese Culinary Academy. That was about 3 years ago. And we engaged the central government as well as the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, and across ministries, and we have embarked upon a string of activities to seek registration. We are very pleased to witness the listing at so early in stage. Again, we would like to express our gratitude to those who have contributed. The ultimate goal, however, ladies and gentlemen, is not to list washoku as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. Our efforts do not stop there. This marks only the beginning of an effort to preserve the washoku culture and hand on the tradition of washoku culture to future generations. And Kyoto Prefectural Government has hosted the Japanese cuisine cultural exhibition in order to bring washoku closer to the general public. And in November, that's last month, Kyoto Prefecture has established a Kyoto conference to promote washoku culture. And now that 1 year has transpired since we have been able to list washoku, an intangible cultural heritage with UNESCO, Kyoto Prefecture is pleased to be given the opportunity to co-host an international event dedicated to WASHOKU-DO with the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. And let me introduce some timeline. November 30th, there will be the Washoku World Challenge Finals, and on January 31st, the World Symposium, and also on February 1st, Kyoto will host the Kyoto Washoku Festival. And we also have a flyer that will give you some detailed information on what we are about to host, and I'd like to just go over this very, very briefly. It is important to know washoku and also the culinary culture. And we are to host the Kyoto Washoku Festival. That's on Sunday, February 1st. And it will be from 10 to 4:30, and it will be in Gion Hall in Kyoto. And the venue is a Yasaka Club. It is very typical of Kyoto in terms of its architecture. And this is where we will provide an opportunity to know and also to taste and also to experience washoku. And in tasting washoku culture with the Japanese Academy of Culinary Arts, we will be providing various dishes, for example, ozoni, And this will be from different areas of Japan, and sampling event will be hosted. And also from Kikunoi and Kinobu, and also Tankuma and Hyote, special dishes will be prepared jointly by these 4 restaurants. They will work together in a collaborative effort. There is going to be a special tenshin dish. And also, you will be able to enjoy the various tastes of Kyoto in washoku dishes. In order to also to get to know washoku culture, we have a symposium, Washoku They Want to Protect and Pass On to the Future, will be hosted. And this will also be joined by Mr. Yoshihiro Murata. And also we have Ayo Okuma, researcher of traditional Japanese cuisine, and also Ms. Minami Honjo. She is an actress. She's living in Kyoto right now. And also, All Japan Food Association president is Mr. Takeshi Kadokami. And these are the members who will be present to speak at the symposium that will allow us to know about washoku culture. And next, after we savor and get to know, there will be enhancement experience for not only washoku culture feed, but also sake tasting event, and also a class on how to brew delicious green tea. All the way from confectionery to sake, all the way to green tea. Attendants will be able to experience washoku culture. There will also be sale of washoku-related produce as well. For example, the sake and tea as well will be on display and for sale. And also, Katsura High School, in Kyoto Prefecture, Katsura High School students will also be selling sweets using Kyoto-grown vegetables. And so we have quite an assortment of programs. Admission is free and application is not required. However, there are some events that are fee-based. Please kindly view our homepage for details, and I do hope that you will attend this symposium. This is an opportunity for a wider audience to understand and also to experience washoku, which is indeed the essence of Kyoto culinary arts. And this is to not only savor, but also to get to know and also to experience washoku. This is a way in which we hope to be able to share in the experience of washoku. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you very much, Mr. Tanaka. Next, we would like to receive from the Kyoto Municipal Government the Director of Tourism and MICE Meeting Incentive Convention Event, Kyoto City Municipal Government. We have Mr. Shigeru Katsu Takahata.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Takahata, Director, Kyoto City Tourism and MICE Office. Thank you very much for coming to this press conference. As a member of the co-hosting organizations, I'd like to introduce to you the programs and projects we carry out by the City of Kyoto. City of Kyoto was selected as ranking #1 in the Travel and Leisure magazine as the most popular tourist spot of the world. This magazine is an American magazine, most influential in the world. So in the city of Kyoto, as selected as #1 city, such a fantastic event is going to be hosted. There is going to be the synergy of Washoku and Kyoto. There will be a great attention focused on this event. In the city of Kyoto, centered around Washoku, representing Japanese culture, we would like to communicate the glamour of omotenashi or hospitality, as well as the food culture of Kyoto, with the purpose of communicating that to the world, emulating New York's Restaurant Week. From the year 2010, we began the Kyoto Restaurant Winter Special. This is going to be the 6th special event, and we would like to hold this event as WASHOKU-DO as one of the contents. The first class premium special menus will become available at affordable price, which is appreciated highly by the customers, and it has become one of the winter institutions or seasonal events of winter in Kyoto. The 151 shops stores, restaurants have participated this time, and most sophisticated skills will be proudly presented by the best chefs. They will use the supreme food ingredients with beautiful wares and presentations, including the rooms and the arrangements in the garden. So I hope that it will be to the full satisfaction of the customers. And in city of Kyoto, we have have the theme of Kyoto culinary culture, connecting Kyoto from Heian period to Heisei period. It's a new event in conjunction with the WASHOKU-DO festivals. So we will have the Kyoto Winter Veggie Fair. We will use the local vegetables and we will be providing limited menus. I hope that the people will enjoy this winter veggie fair. Now, when it comes to Kyoto Washoku, then you cannot forget Japanese sake. In Kyoto, the sake is one of the traditional industrial products, so we want to promote the sake. At the same time, we would like to communicate the spiritual culture of Japan as well as the traditional industry. So from January of 2014, we have introduced the ordinance regarding the promotion of seishu or sake. It is nicknamed as Kampai Ordinance, and thanks to it, across Japan, many municipalities have followed suit. The other day, we held the summit meeting of sake-related ordinances in Kyoto. The wonders and beauty of the sake is being recognized once again. When you dine in this event of WASHOKU-DO, I hope that you will have kampai with the sake. Fushimi and other places will provide a fantastic sake, which will make the food more satiating. Lastly, but not in the least, January and February, I would like to mention, are not the peak season for touring Kyoto, and this is the time WASHOKU-DO events are held. So this is the best time to fully satiate the attraction of Kyoto. I hope that you will enjoy winter in Kyoto and spending some fulfilling and enriched time. So this was the explanation by the city of Kyoto. Thank you very much. We are counting on your good support.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Mr. Takahata. Next, we invite Chef Yoshihiro Murata, Chief Owner of Kikunoi and Executive Producer of WASHOKU-DO, and also Chef Alain Ducasse, WASHOKU-DO Ambassador, for remarks, and we will enter into a talk session thereafter. First of all, I'd like to invite Mr. Murata to the stage. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to see so many faces gathered here today. We have been able to receive an explanation about the taste and also, from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, as well as Kyoto Prefectural Government and also Municipal Government. It is quite a lineup. It was December 4th of last year that Washoku was registered on intangible cultural heritage with UNESCO. And I had consulted Kyoto governor in the beginning, and we have received the support of Mr. Ducasse in lobbying activities, and he has supported the cause. Never did I expect to see the listing happen so early in time. And on such a national basis, momentum has picked up. And at that point in time, this was something that was never to be expected. All of a sudden, it appears as if Washoku has come to center stage. It has been registered as an intangible cultural heritage, which will mean that, left unattended, it might become an endangered species. It was important to build a system by which the asset is to be preserved and also handed down from generations. And that was the instruction made for UNESCO. And that was what we intended to. And also to identify, as per UNESCO instructions, to identify a fora by the national government by which this can be conducted. Also, we have Prefectural University of Kyoto, a curriculum that is dedicated to this cause, and also Ritsumeikan University as well, and also in Kyushu University, a curriculum that is dedicated to the culinary studies, and also in Kyoto University, the agriculture, and also the medical faculty would collaborate with subsidy from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries to convey how, in terms of nutritional effect and also because of the health benefits, the Japanese washoku will be able to deliver. And we're working together with the Academy And it is important that this information be shared by the general public and momentum pick up at home and also abroad. Our intent is to spread washoku so that there's more popularity. To that end, we have decided to host a competition and also a competition of non-Japanese cooks that are working on washoku. And this is very interesting. Of course, there have been some very unexpected ideas that have come about. And there are about 56,000 restaurants, Japanese restaurants, around the world, of which 0.9% are frequented by Japanese. The remaining 99.1% are operated by non-Japanese. And on the part of the academy, we need to have authentic cuisine. And we believe that it is time is ripe that we must focus on providing the pure essence of Japanese washoku. We need to have the seeds, we need to sow the seeds, and we need to nurture the plant. And we must also grow the plant so that it flourishes into a whole tree. When spaghetti came into Japan, what we did was to devise tarako spaghetti, which is made of cod roe. But we have not been criticized by the Italians. This is a fusion of our cultures. This is what we are seeing happening, and that is to be expected. That must be accepted, and we need to grow and nurture so that it is a world heritage. Just as we have seen in French gourmand, it has become a world heritage. And likewise, we hope to bring the washoku to center stage as well. And it's not about, when I say WASHOKU-DO, it's not about shoku-do in the saying of a restaurant, but it's a way of, or the art of a washoku. And this is what we hope to be able to deliver in Kyoto. Why Kyoto? In Kyoto, we find the capacity and what it takes to hand this on. And we find that the central government, as well as the prefecture government, also the municipal government, have come together and have taken on an endeavor that is unprecedented. And OCC, the nation, the prefecture, and also municipal government join hands to deliver results around washoku, I believe will spread to the rest of Japan. And this will prompt the delivery of washoku and also washoku ingredients from Japan to the rest of the world. And this is what we aspire to see. And with these thoughts, I would like to conclude my remarks. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you, Mr. Murata.
では続いて
Thank you very much. Monsieur Dukas, can you deliver your introduction? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alain Dukas. I am a chef of French cuisine, and I have a passion for washoku. Food ingredients, know-how of washoku, as well as the strict and rigorous flavoring, sanitary and harmonious drinks and food, harmony between drinks and food. This is the world of washoku. You use a lot of many food ingredients. In Kyoto, from across Japan, so many ingredients can be used in washoku. I love washoku. Just right temperature and a diverse sake can accompany washoku. Diversity of sake as well as a washoku would make a complete harmony. It is just like the diversity of wine and perfect harmony with French cuisine. It's the same story. I think 3-4 years ago, I believe it was, we produced sake together, and we ate that with French cuisine. So we created a sake to go with Japanese cuisine. It was produced in 2,000 bottles, very small scale. But I suggested food, and this sake agreed very well with the French food that I suggested. UNESCO inscribed Washoku as intangible cultural heritage, as said by Mr. Murata. I participated in the campaign. I said that French cuisine and Washoku are now inscribed, but we shouldn't stay dormant. We should be active. We must wake up. We must be awake about our cuisine. So together with Japanese people, together with the Japanese chefs, we want to create Washoku into something modern, and we can present it, and we can present the diversity of Washoku to the rest of the world. And we must be able to compete against other countries' cuisine. I say this because, after all, amongst the world cuisine, there are so many countries saying that our cuisine is the best in the world. The Japanese chefs and French chefs are the same. For some time, we have been discussing the food ingredients. What should be the cardinal points of the food ingredients? And we should use good food ingredients, and we must cook good food ingredients. We were doing that ahead of others. We must communicate what we have been doing to the world. Centered around restaurants, we must do the marketing as well as information provision. After all, the premium cuisine, as Mr. Murata said, is only a tip of an iceberg. Below the tip, we have Japanese restaurants. It's a major, big organization. The Japanese Grand Maison would have the same situation. We have a big supporting restaurants. So we are one actor of the big economy. We are only one actor in the big world of cuisine. In this day and age, economy is difficult. Same thing in France. I think Japanese economy is a little better than French economy. But nevertheless, our food, our cuisine cannot be produced in other countries. In other words, the Japanese and French cuisines would be supporting the respective national economies. So in this world situation, we will work on Washoku, we will work on French cuisine, we will broaden those. I love yuba, I love sake, I love rice, I love uni, sea urchin, I like wagyu Kobe beef, I love it. I love those Japanese food ingredients. In exporting those ingredients, you have to export with moderation. My advice to wagyu is this. The highest premium marbled beef, well, that can be exported, but I think you should export something which can be understood by French chefs, maybe not the real premium. If it is too fatty, it will not be welcomed. Japanese people may love it, but it is not going to be accepted perfectly by the French chef. The sugar and salt and fat must be reduced in the modern contemporary cooking. That is what is needed. So you have to adapt what you do into the requirements of today. So we will consult with Mr. Murata going forward. You have a fantastic food in Japan, and I think we can be the good advisor in exporting your food ingredients. Japanese people, we in France, together with the government, naturally, government will render a little more cooperation in what we do. For example, beef we should have an environment which is easy to export Japanese beef into France. I think this message is clear and well received by the authorities. Well, dinosaurs, they move very slowly, but slow movement will nevertheless be a growth after some years. So I hope that you will create such a situation. So we will have the question and answer session with Mr. Murata.
それではこれから和食堂について伺ってまいります。どうぞおかけ。
So please be seated. We will have a talk session with these two people. Without further ado, we will have a talk session with two people. Through WASHOKU-DO, what are the elements that you want to communicate to the rest of the world? Mr. Murata, can you talk about it? Japanese food uses diverse ingredients. It's healthy. And in terms of calorific value, in the case of kaiseki cuisine that we do, 65 items we use, and it is at the level of 1,000 kilocalories. So many food ingredients and low calorie. This is the essence of Japanese food. So it will make the people in the world healthy. It will be useful. And nutritional balance is extremely good in Japanese cuisine, washoku. Other than that, we have 4 seasons in Japan, and 4 seasons are clearly demonstrated in washoku. And the sensitivities of seasons are represented in washoku. I think these are the features of washoku. This is something that I want to communicate to the world. Through doing so, from Japan, how Japan is a rich and abundant country, a beautiful country, the world will appreciate it. That is my hope. For the ordinary citizens' daily lives, washoku has very close relationship with the daily lives. For example, there is a party of Japanese potatoes. It's a kind of a getting together for cooking potatoes in a soup. It's a gathering. So the non-Japanese people can travel across Japan, and they will come across various events of washoku, popular washoku. And washoku can be good use for diplomacy or tourism. It didn't happen in the past, but non-Japanese people will find out greater things about washoku, and it will be good for diplomacy and tourism. That's my hope. Well then, Monsieur Dukas, what is the fantastic part of washoku? I think Mr. Murata said it all. Japanese cuisine, washoku, uses a lot of ingredients respecting seasonal differences. A lot of countries don't. There are few countries in the world which has that sensitivities from the season, and it is healthy cooking. And you have to consider what you drink with. Sake, in the case of Japan, it is sake. You are very careful about choosing what to go with it, and that should be communicated to the rest of the world. For a long time, the know-how would be nurtured. In the case of French cuisine, it's the same thing. Over a long time, the know-how has been nurtured to come to the apex of the culinary world. Japanese food has very ambitious dreams and wishes. Into the future, it will be something known by the world, and it will be exhibiting leadership in the whole world. It's going to be fun. It's going to be the enjoyment which will be shared by a lot of people. Washoku is like that. To that end, we can have a social element of enjoying food with a lot of people. We live in the globalized world where it is very important to sit around the table and share a meal. As a social behavior, it's very important, as one expert said. So washoku is known that in that process, economic development can be also starting from sitting around the table. Now, the attractiveness of the cultural background is a place washoku can provide. What do you expect from washoku in terms of disseminating a culture? In Kyoto, a lot of people come, I hope, and then they will come in touch with the wonders of the culinary culture. If that can be done, it's fantastic. Well, when it comes to Japanese people, we have a tendency of spending a lot of time before we realize what are the things that we have to protect. What should we do if we want to protect? Grandmas and grandpas were getting used to the Japanese culture and Japanese culinary products. Then I hope that the contemporary people should be protecting that. It's not only the premium food, the local food, the food which was handed down from the past generations. That must be protected and respected. So you have listened to Mr. Murata's comment, Monsieur Dukas. Do you have any reaction to present? What was the question? What I think is this. We have a great tradition. It's almost like DNA. We have a variety of food, a variety of roots from which we can grow, and we can have a great vision for human beings. Food. What is food for human beings? I think culinary culture will teach us. For us now and for the future, what is the food? The Washoku and French food will tell us that. We are providing food to tens of thousands of people. That is what I mean is that we will have less protein, we will have good consumption, we will have better quality, we will reduce the volume, and we will eat more veggies. I think these are the things which should be taught. And when it comes to grain, staple food, we will eat grains and vegetables. We will reduce consumption overall. Thereby, we can enable more people to eat. The food industry that we are associated with is such that we excessively use so many ingredients. We must have different ways of eating. And together with Japanese friends, we want to demonstrate that in Washoku and French food, which would be shared by many people. That's what we want to do. A lot of people can enjoy food day to day. A lot of people can have access to food. So solid eating would be very important to reduce the consumption, and the better quality of eating is very important. Well, the last question. What do you think of the possibility of washoku becoming a universal food? And what are the food ingredients that you are most interested, Mr. Murata? Well, for me, except Africa, I've visited almost all countries. After all, the Japanese food ingredients are by far fantastic, super, excellent. The sugar content is high and so sweet. Apples, such apples never existed except Japan. Grapes, peaches, the same thing. And ethnically, there may be some differences. Rice, our rice, Japanese rice is so delicious. And you don't find in other places where they offer delicious rice like Japanese rice. Mr. Dukas was saying in his remarks, Wagyu, Japanese beef. Japanese beef is the artistic product crowning the whole world. And this must be exported to the rest of the markets in the world. Speaking from Washoku world, bonito and sea kelp. Sea kelp is exported, but bonito is not exported so much because of many problems. In promoting washoku in the whole world, bonito is very important fish. In France, in Bretagne, from Kyushu, the Satsuma, Kagoshima sent some products. And this company is trying to create a plant in Bretagne. So there are many things going on. So bonito can be exported from Japan to such factories. I think that will be good support for washoku. When these things become available, Japanese food can go to the world. And TPP was decided on. So Japanese food materials are ranked very high in the world ranking table. The world people, including the people in Asia, these are the food ingredients demanded and favored by the people in the world. So we want to be able to provide Japanese food ingredients available to the people in the world. What was the question? Did I answer your question? Yes, I was going to ask you the possibility of Japanese food going into the world. Possibility of washoku becoming world food? When I was at the age of 20, I was a university student. I was in France. I went to France. And then I was really stunned by the richness of the food culture in France. And I was determined that I will do French cuisine. But before that, I had to know something about Japan. That's why I started Japanese food. So, French cuisine is something that we wanted to catch up and surpass. It's our model. So 3 major culinary cultures of the world, people say. And I hope that washoku can be counted as one of these 3 major world cuisines. So listening to Mr. Murata's comment, Mr. Dukas, what is your comment? And any food materials that you are focusing your attention to now? Well, earlier on, I talked about the food materials. I completely agree with Mr. Murata. Well, we are going to have a greater competition in the whole world, in whatever areas. French is the first and washoku the second, and that's why I'm taking a very great benefit from the fact that the French one and the washoku the second. Could you hear? Could you hear? You see, everybody should protect its own identity. And we must protect and preserve the differences. Kyoto is special, and every place is special. You shouldn't export everything. There are certain things that you should preserve. When it comes to rare materials, there are rare materials in Japan, and there is not much volume to be exported. Those ingredients should stay in Japan. If you have exportable products, that should be exported. If you don't have a volume, you should preserve it in Japan, because that will be a way to preserve your identity. If you go to Kyoto, there is something special you can have. So we must create an environment. If you go to Paris, you can have a special French food. So that is the difference which has to be sort of portrayed and presented. I go to Mr. Murata's restaurant, the high-grade French food like the ones that we are presenting in my restaurant in France is enjoyed. So important thing is to preserve something that you attach great importance to and to other people's envy. The local food should be used in presenting what you want to present. It's very important to use local ingredients. The vision is global, but the representation and expression must be local. That is very important. In our French cuisine or in washoku, what they carry from the past is the global vision with a local expression.